I want to talk to you today about what to do when you have feelings of depression and anxiety and how to respond to them. And I want to submit to you that what you should do and what I have done to try to conquer those feelings, to deal with them, is to do the exact opposite of what you're feeling like doing. As a matter of fact, I want to show you this in Scripture. In the book of Psalms in the Bible, a guy named David in chapter 13 starts telling God that he feels like God has forgotten him. How long, O Lord, will you forget me? He says, how long will I have these anxious thoughts? How long will I have anguish within me? And then he starts talking about his haters, y'all. He says his enemies are rejoicing, mocking him, and rejoicing at his downfalls. And I know we've all been a little bit too consumed, a little bit too worried about what other people think of us at some point. And that could take a strong hold on our minds and our emotions. And that's where he is for these 4 verses. You go and read them. Psalms 13. He's torn up with this stuff, man. But in verse 5, he flips the script and he does the opposite. He says, but, this is how I'm feeling for verse 4. But in verse 5, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to trust in your unfailing love. Then he says, I'm going to rejoice. What does it mean to rejoice? It means to do happy people stuff. He said, for 4 verses, I'm feeling like this anguish, anxiety, depressed, worried about what people thinking about me, kind of mess. But this is what I'm going to do about it. I'm going to rejoice. I'm going to thank God, trust in his unfailing love, and I'm going to sing. And I don't know about you, but when I'm feeling them kind of emotions, the last thing that I feel like doing is singing a happy song. It's at the bottom of the list. And if somehow somebody was to start singing one around me, it would just make me want to, you know what I'm talking about. It'd be pretty annoying. It's the last thing we feel like doing or we even want to hear. And it's the very thing that the Bible is suggesting that we do. It's what I'm suggesting that you do today. If you're feeling feelings of depression, anxiety, anguish, don't respond with what your feelings are urging you to do, but do the opposite of what your feelings are telling you to do and respond with joy, with singing, and with trust in God and in his unfailing love. It even says in verse 6, I believe, to thank God for his deliverance, even though you don't have it yet. But do the opposite of what you feel like doing. Because how could your feelings that you're trying to escape be the answer for escaping your feelings? How could doing what your feelings are telling you to do be the answer for getting out of those same feelings? It makes no sense. It creates a cycle. And yet we fall into that cycle so many times. Break the cycle, do the opposite.